Hello, everybody, and welcome to What They Won't Say. This is your girl, Courtney Lynette. I am here with...
Just Kevin.
UA.
And today we are back to finish our discussion about relationships.
See, they go Courtney being long again. We're not finishing it. We're
Okay, I
continuing
apologize.
it. But, yeah. Dude, continue.
So, continuing on our conversation of relationships, apparently, I've been dragged for using the term friend boy. So, I will not be using that term this episode.
Shout out to Jay.
Why will you not be using the term?
Because Jay said that friend boy sounded like a retarded superhero.
So?
What do you mean, so?
Who?
The person that I am dating is not a retarded superhero.
Hold up. I say this with the utmost respect for this man that I don't know, but who the fuck is Jay? If you feel like friend boy is what describes your situation, then that's what you describe it as. It's not. Again, all the respect to Jay, man, I don't know why I'm doing that. Damn, who the fuck is Jay? I mean, just because it's his friend don't mean I can't say that Jay. Jay's a faithful listener. Shout out to Jay. We appreciate your feedback. And I know Jay would feel the same way. He's like, man, who the fuck am I? You want to call me? You want to call the man?
Because he does have that type of attitude.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you want to call the man friend boy. You ain't calling me friend boy, but you want to call. That's what you feel describes your situation shit.
Because it's not going to change his thoughts on the fact that friend boy.
But Jay, we appreciate your feedback either way. Thank you so much for letting me know that. It
no doubt.
You know, from now on, if you say this and if you say friend boy,
that
will happen every time. So
we need a soundboard because I swear, Kev he has one sound every episode that we just need to record and press that button when it's time.
I don't disagree. But back to the topic at hand. We're talking relationships, but more in particular, we are talking about the dating phase. The last episode on this topic, we got into the act of getting to this dating phase, what allows us to get here, and those are the titles. Now we want to talk about what happens during that phase, the do's and don'ts, the ins and outs, the things, the wills, the won'ts, the cans and can'ts, shoulds and shouldn'ts, all those mirror traits. But how about we start off with, I guess, the beginning of where that is, when your honeymoon phase.
Oh yeah.
The part where, like, I think I brought this up in the previous episode, that part where we're all lying to each other.
Oh yeah. that's when you set up that wrapping, that packaging.
Where I don't know, air comes out your ass and
and you waking up before he wake up to run to the bathroom and brush your teeth
and pull your shit down and
fix your weave,
take the crust out your eyes like you roll over and woke up like this, that phase.
Yo, they're trying to hold their shits for hours.
Exactly, like honeymoon phase.
Well, first and foremost, let's just establish that talking is not dating.
It's not. I'm talking to y'all right now, and I don't want to date either one of you.
Wow.
I mean, y'all are. I'm sure you're awesome.
I don't know whether to appreciate that.
Right.
I'm sure you're awesome people, but
But talking is not dating. This goes for ladies as well as men. Men, if you are not taking her out, or women, if you are not taking him out, because it's 2019. Women, you could pay too. If you're not taking him out. If
you ask me to go out, you pay. You can't say, we going on a date, we going here, and I'm spending my money. That's not happening. And yes, that's included in my marriage. Like, my wife and I feel the same way on that topic. You ask me for my time, then you're paying for my time. Mm-hmm. Why is your time only valuable when it comes to transactions of business? Like my time will always be valuable. So yeah, you asking me personally for my time, then you...
What you doing?
Are paying for that. Are you really wiping up?
Yes, because I didn't want it to spill on the carpet.
Right now? Whatever. But
we don't have a waiter. We've established that.
But like I said,
man, you just got a bunch of views.
Hey man, you ask somebody for some time, You ask somebody for some time, you paying for that time. Male
I don't disagree with that. If I invite you out, then that means that I have made it a point to make sure that my bank account says that we can afford this movie.
Time out. Wait. But what constitutes a date? You ain't gotta pay for everything. Y'all can go for a walk and that could be a date.
It can.
It can.
But if you talking about pay, when people talk about getting into paid dates, when you talk about we're gonna just hang out, because you know motherfuckers hate the word hanging out when it comes to dating these days. They just assume you come to my house. Right. Why you just think somebody gonna let you in their house immediately? I don't know. But and why people just letting people in their houses immediately? I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. But when we talk about like actually getting into dating, and you have date 1, 2, 15, 20, whatever it may be, eventually the man ain't gonna say every time that those interactions happen where y'all are gonna go to a mutual meeting ground, I guess, so to speak. The man isn't gonna initiate that every time. But a lot of times, especially in our generation right now, it's thought that, yeah, as a man, I have to initiate that, and I initiated it, so yeah, I'm gonna pay for it. But there are still times where the women are like, hey man, how about we go here, here, and here? Then you get here, and this nigga sitting here holding on his wallet like, I thought that, nope.
Right.
But here,
but the bucks, bro.
But with being in the dating phase, okay, we got that part. Being in the dating phase, by the time you get to date 15, is there an end goal here?
There has to be, yeah, but day 15 could happen on day 15.
Where you guys are, I mean, it goes back to the first part when it comes to actually getting a title. Communication is still the most important part of any piece of working this relationship. It could just be our business relationship. Like, communication is still first and foremost. So the communication part of it doesn't go away just because you guys started dating. Like, okay, now you're my girlfriend, now you're my boyfriend. But that doesn't mean, oh, we're going to stop talking about what our goals and aspirations are with each other. It just continues on to the next level. Then it's like, can you see me being here forever? Or can you see me being here long term? Can you see me meeting your family? Stuff like that. Like, it always goes to the next step.
Right.
But like with every phase, it's like I said, let's talk about the honeymoon phase. In that honeymoon phase, your level of communication isn't going to be the same. My wife and I have known each other now, like actually known each other now coming up on 13 years. We've been doing this dating thing, whether this relationship, the relationship aspect of it for 12 of those. So on and off at some point. But the level of communication that we have even in year 3 of marriage isn't the same level of communication that we had in year 1 of marriage. Like the barriers in which you break through, things have to happen for you to really be able to trust this person to communicate. Like everybody says, you know, I want somebody that's going to be honest and open. Do you walk into a relationship in month 5 telling them those childhood secrets that keep you up at night or bullshit like that? I'm not saying it's bullshit, but stuff like that. And I'm not saying everyone stays up at night from things that happen. But the things about your life that you think have molded you in certain ways, are you telling them that in month 4, month 5, month 6? Like a lot of those things, I'm not saying that everybody's holding on to that, but you're not giving everybody every truthful detail. And remember, lying by omission is still lying. So the level of communications aren't always going to be open at those levels. So yeah, you can say, when we get into this, I'm going to tell them I like this, and I want to do this, and we have to break this up evenly like that. You can tell yourself in your mind. But once you get there and you're sitting in front of them and you're looking at her, you know what society says. You know what it normally looks like, what normal dating structure looks like. And we can all say, man, I don't care about, like I just said, who the fuck is Jay? Like, everybody ain't gonna sit here and say, who the fuck is Jay? Knowing Jay gonna watch this show and Jay might feel some way about that. Like, they might think it, but they not gonna say it.
We love you, Jay.
And absolutely, like I said, man, keep rocking with us. You wanna come chop it up and actually explain, you know, some of your opinions or refute or rebut something that I have said to you. By all means, this is your formal invitation. But back to
it's also funny because he was asking if he could come on, but not like You know what? I'll get into that later.
That's cool, because I don't want to fall off my train of thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
But even with that being said, your level of communication is never going to be the same. So yeah, you sitting there at that date, and yeah, y'all going through the talking stage, and you've thrown the title on it, and now she's your girlfriend or that's your boyfriend. Now the pressure really is on, because you're thinking in your mind, man, I can't fuck this up. I really like this person. Because once you add that title into it, you can see something in the future. You have decided that this can possibly go somewhere. I done got the girlfriend, I done got the boyfriend. We are exclusive. We in public. We holding hands, rocking hips, whatever that bullshit that you decide makes your relationships work and tick. Those things start happening, and you're thinking in the back of your mind, man, I can't mess this up. So all those explosive traits about me, those degrading, those mirror traits. I don't want to say the weaknesses, but the mirror traits of your personality that are the best, that can use some work. Those parts, like you're not just divulging those secrets in day one, month one. Like it takes time. Like it's gonna take time. So it's like I said, that honeymoon stage of dating. It's like, is it real? Are you even dating at that point?
Well, that's the question that I'm posing, and I'm hoping I can pose it to both of you guys, because both of you guys are in a situation where you guys have experienced both the honeymoon phase of dating versus the honeymoon phase of marriage. So Malik, I'm gonna pose it to you first. How do you compare the two? What are the differences between the honeymoon phase of dating and then the honeymoon phase of actually being married to that person?
Okay, it's like this. The honeymoon phase of dating is nothing but in a sense, a chase. So you chasing after somebody, or not even a chase. It's more like you're doing a like a dog competition where they do the best. You know, they trying to show the best skills, everything that you have. That's
the dog racing.
It's the best. It's like one of the things you have to show people, like what you can do, what it is you're trying to impress this person. So you in that honeymoon phase of dating, you telling stories. Oh, I've done this. Oh, I do this. I've done that. Even all the way when it comes down to talking about sex, I could do this. I could do that.
I don't lie my dick.
Huh? No. Nobody said
bad things happen.
Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to your dick.
Don't lie on your dick.
Don't ever do that. But I'm saying it's to the point where you're just trying to impress this person. This is what you want to do.
Drop it off.
This is what I want to show you that I can do this for you. I can do this for you. I've done this. I've been this person. I've been this person. This, that, third. You tell some type of sob story, so to make them go, oh, and all that stuff. Now, once you get the person, yes, the chase should always continue. Should always be trying to be the best person that you are. Once you're in, we've crossed on, we become married. That's a whole different honeymoon stage. Now you're just trying to be the best person that you can be now that you guys have gotten there. That is not the time to stop and be like, now what? No, you work, you care for the kids, you care for her, you try to be a better romantic as, because guys, we I don't know about Kev, I know I'm not good at it. I'm terrible at romance. But these are the things that we have to do to stay in that honeymoon phase, because at some point or another, honeymoon phase can end, but you can pick it back up if you so choose. If you continue to do certain things, do the right things to keep it where it is. Happy spouse, happy house. We're not doing this whole happy wife, happy life thing.
I'm biased. I like the happy wife, happy life.
That's because you're a woman.
I said I was biased.
I know, and
I
I'm just being
ain't
Captain
gonna
Obvious.
lie. I say happy wife, happy life, because nigga always happy, man. I'm Captain.
Aw.
Come on. Man.
So what's your differences?
Like that. Anyway.
I mean, the honeymoon phase when you're dating, it's a far more controlled aspect than when you're married. When you're dating, you can control so much about yourself for, if not the most important reason, you don't live in a house with that motherfucker. So at some point, I can go away and I can, for lack of a better term, freshen up my disguise. And we've spent the last
with the snaps.
We came with the last 7 hours, spent the last 8 hours together, and laughing, talking, crying, whatever it may have been, divulging small parts of our personality. That, let's not get it twisted. At some point, we rehearsed this. Like, we sat there and rehearsed small parts of this conversation to get to this person, to try and push this button or push that button, whether it be the romantic button, or whether I'm trying to have sex with you, whether I'm just trying to get you angry to see how you're going to respond, whatever it may be. I've rehearsed small parts of this conversation. It's so much more controlled. When you're married, you can try and do dumb shit like that and act like, all right, I can do this. With this woman or man knows you. They have spent, so even if it's like, man, we just got married after knowing each other for 6 months. All right, cool, but guess what? We now live in this house. There have been moments I've been laying up at night just looking at your face like, what's going on in there? But that honeymoon phase when you're married, it's a real honeymoon. My wife and I actually we have yet to take a honeymoon. We got married and we fucking hit the ground running. It was, let's go, house, cars, the shit we got to do to start building our credit back up. Like, it was just like, let's go. But as far as like the actual aspects of our marriage, that honeymoon phase was more of it was like a really get to know how to be married phase. Like, I don't know if y'all heard the Wale album, Much About Nothing, the joint he did with Jerry Seinfeld. But Jerry Seinfeld's talking about what marriage is. And so, yeah, he's talking about the roller coaster. But when he was like, marriage is a box that people are always talking about they're ready for. And, but it's something you can't be ready for. It's an empty box that you have to fill up with. And our honeymoon phase was more so, we discovered that box existed and we thought it was already full. And it was more so cleaning out the clutter of what didn't need to be there, but more so building our own box of what marriage was supposed to be versus that box that everybody said marriage was supposed to be. Once we got through that, I guess the prototypical honeymoon phase could go, and it's just like any newlyweds, you run around the house fucking like rabbits. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's just like you enjoy that person. You enjoy that person all the time. You enjoy you enjoy the person. You enjoy everything that they have to offer, their energy, the things that they say, those quirky laughs, like all that stuff is like falling in love all over again with not just them, but yourself, because you get to see, like, it's almost like a mirror. I look at my wife, and even at that time, it's like, yo, man, while you aren't the same girl I married or I met at damn 18 in Jones Hall, you are like half Kevin Jones right now, B. Yes, she'll start saying shit, and I'm just like, yo, who did this to you? And it's me. And then and I'm sure on the flip side, she does the same thing. Like, I say shit that I steal her lingo all the time. My wife's fucking hilarious. But yeah, it's like you're looking at in that phase you really get to see. So it's like a culmination of work. Like, damn, man, like, okay, we here, I did that, and now let's do this. And you're like, this is real. This isn't like when we were dating, when I was like I said, I get to go home and freshen up my disguise. No, man, we here. Mm-hmm. We in here.
Mask is off. Like Future, mask off.
That's a different mask off, by the way. He's not, if y'all don't know what he's talking about, then, go back, listen to the words, you'll probably figure it out. He is talking about masks.
So we've gone through the honeymoon phase of everything. We're in 2019. Let's be realistic.
2020.
I don't want to live.
Okay, we're in 2020, damn near. Let's talk about dating with kids. At what point?
Hold up. Before she finishes this, at some point during this specific topic, I'm going to say some shit that is going to hurt some people to the core, and I'm only saying it as truth. It's not necessarily how I feel, but it's the truth. Go ahead.
So when dating with children, you've had in previous relationships situationships, whatever your title was at that time, what is a convenient way of dating? Well, not, I can't even say convenient, because honestly, kids don't give you a lot of convenience, if any, depending on the type of children you have. So what is the time frame or the maneuvering you should do to introduce your new, now titled boyfriend or girlfriend into a situation with your child? And how does that look in the community?
Title? When you say, all right, so how do you introduce the title to, we're like, you're my girlfriend, now it's time to meet my child?
Right. Like, at what time do you decide that?
Immediately.
Because I've heard it both ways. I've heard I don't want my child, because I'm not even going to lie, Jaden was the type of child where he gets connected to people instantly. Right. He has my type of personality. Mm-hmm. So if you come around and then all of a sudden it falls off, mm-hmm. then it's kind of like, oh, mommy, what happened to such and such? And I didn't like that for my child, mm-hmm. because I know what type of personality he is, and mm-hmm. I know that he looks to different people for like little nitpicks of how he mm-hmm. should be growing up. Mm-hmm. So I sheltered him a little bit. In my child's life, in the 10 years he has been alive, he has met 2 people that I have introduced him to as my boyfriend.
But anyone he wasn't introduced to, were they your boyfriend?
I mean, no. We were dating. We didn't have that title.
Like I just said, like that's why I asked you the question. You're my girlfriend, and now it's time to.
Yes, yes, they have had that title.
If we're talking about that, and here's why I say, Malik, actually go ahead, so you don't lose what you want to say.
Oh no, you good. I do want to hear.
But here's why I say I'm going to offend some people. One, I don't care whether man or woman. For lack of a better way to say this, there isn't any single person without kids that walks into the world like not already somewhere in the back of their mind, dating someone with kids is already tainted. That relationship is tainted because you have too much. Most people young enough to not have kids, but old enough to still have kids that don't have kids, more than likely don't want them. And even if they do want them, they want theirs. They don't want any inkling of responsibility that says, I'm going at some point have to be responsible for lives I did not make myself responsible for. That's why I say immediately, because it's not about your kids. We don't give kids enough credit for being highly intelligent human beings. And when I say highly intelligent, I'm just not talking like their ability to understand fucking E equals MC squared. I'm talking the ability to see a human being, not completely know who said human being is, what they can do in life, but they know that person is right or wrong, good or bad. Something about their spirit and their aura speaks to that child, and we don't give people or children enough credit for that. And our children tell us all the time, immediately, about motherfuckers, and then later on we like, man, they tried to tell me. Right. It was real subtle, but they tried to tell me, and I didn't listen. So your kids, like, well, you don't want to just be dragging motherfuckers through and past your children, especially women with sons. Women, it's like there will be direct correlations there, just like daughters and fathers. Like those relationships are direct correlations. You don't want to take the responsibility. It is what it is. But at some point, when you decide this is going to be my boyfriend, when does he meet as soon as you can make that shit happen. Because that man is going to tell you, that child, and that man is going to tell you everything about how that relationship is going to work out for you. Because he gonna either fake hustle like a motherfucker, and you gonna see it. Man, this dude is overcompensating like a bitch. Or he's gonna make up every excuse to try and draw trying to get more attention from you than your child gets from you. There's gonna be no healthy balance. There's gonna be no working with you. It's going to just be me or them eventually. And you're going to see it. Him or that child is going to tell you, are we supposed to be together? But you can't, the whole, I want to wait, I want to see. Then what happens, you 6 months into a titled relationship, now you're probably like a year into this. Like at very close, you're pulling up on 12 months of this. And you've just wasted a good portion of your life if your child decides this isn't going to work, or they decide this is going to work with your child. As quick as you've established that relationship and you can get the aspects of the relationship into it, I say incorporate them. No, don't move in with them. But if y'all can go on a park date or meet us here or yada, 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 how that may work, neutral grounds, then yeah, I believe the earliest you can get that done and stop wasting your time and anybody else that may be involved, it's probably the safest bet.
I agree and disagree. Boy, let me go. I'm in agreement because I do feel like it's meeting the kids as soon as possible. I wouldn't say immediately, I would say as soon as possible. Because you don't know what that child's situation is. They could just not be liking the person just because dad just left. Or dad is still involved. Like, okay, he's here right now, and, you will never be you'll never be my father or mother. You'll never be that person.
Right.
So, yes, you will try to do it as soon as possible, but the only thing I would say is you need to talk to the child first. Let them know that there is somebody there. My situation, I don't trust people. So when it comes to like I said in the previous episode about relationships, I dealt with a chick for almost 3 years, I said, I think, and she never met my child, but she met him, but she did happen to meet him on a fluke. It wasn't because, we were in a situation where like they just crossed paths.
Was it somebody that you wanted to establish a relationship with though?
No. And that's what the issue is. But now, in my current relationship, marriage, I still hesitated on her meeting my son. Whereas she has children too, now who are now my kids. She didn't have a choice but to, we didn't have a choice. First of all, she snuck one in on me, but that's a whole different story. I only know about the baby. Yep. I only know about the baby, and then suddenly it was another child there. And then it was another child, but then we found out later on that was her sister. But anyway, love you, girl.
It's too deep.
No, but seriously though, but on a serious note though, like it was kind of like, it's still, because she was the same way. She didn't want me to meet, Amar. She wanted me to, but we ended up in a situation where we had to cross paths.
Kevin Wade Cartman.
Kenny.
Yeah.
But seriously, I feel like you should talk to the child first because, like I said, these children, a lot of times, they are very intelligent. They are. So if you talk about the person, and then they're kind of like, and then they meet the person, and they're still like, Mom, Dad, I'm not feeling this. There's no D&D.
My phone didn't ring. That was my computer.
Yes. That's weird. Your computer makes the same. Anyway. We get to, we got to make sure that we are, I give kids credit where credit is due. At the same time, as adults, we should know, because I knew who I wanted to meet my son and who I did not want to meet my son. If I'm running around, yada, 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 even if I'm in an established relationship and I'm still looking at you kind of sideways, yeah, I'm probably wasting my time. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you ain't gonna meet them.
The issue I have, though, is women or men who do the Uncle Johnny, Uncle David, or Auntie Mary, Auntie Jessica. Like, I don't like that. I'm not the type of person that introduce anybody as my play cousin or my play brother or my play sister. Like, that's not me, either your friend or your family. I don't like, it's just my preference. I don't really rock with females that do the, oh yeah, I just introduced him to Uncle Johnny and we've been dating for like 2 days, and I personally don't like that. I feel like it's confusing to a child's psyche, and then they grow up.
It's confusing to my 30-year-old psyche.
I'm surprised that people still do that.
And then they grow up, and then those cycles repeat and renew, and like it's just a cycle, and I don't like that. But that's just me. It might not be for everybody. You may feel like you want your child to meet Uncle Johnny or Uncle David or Uncle Brian or Uncle Nick.
I have a question. Why are you using these old ass names?
Because Uncle Johnny been around forever, like.
But like,
I'm not Uncle Johnny.
Not you, but I'm saying like when people use that term, it's like every Tom, Dick, and Harry, like it's that saying. I do what I hear. I don't know.
Where do you hear
Hey,
this?
hey. We're drifting. Let's bring it back. Let's rewind. Let's rewind.
Nice mediation.
Thank you.
Okay. She said this will not be a get on court session.
We are not doing that. Stand your ground, Wall.
But seriously, these don't. Yes, like I said, yeah, kids need to get involved as soon as possible because that's a big deal. And if you think at any point that if the inkling of thought in your mind is like, yo, I can't do this because she got kids, get out. Don't waste your time. Don't waste his or her time. Please. That is a terrible thing to get yourself or to get to the point where you really or the person really likes you and you're still thinking about the fact that person has kids. Because you could be in a very selfish situation, especially if you two eventually have kids of your own. Y'all have a kid of your own, but you're trying to exclude the child that was already there. That is some selfish, horrible shit. I'll be the first person to say it. Please do not do this. If you have any issues of dating a significant other with kids, don't do it at all. I don't care how good anything is.
See, I was with you until you said any inkling. It's like, I mean, it goes back to the last episode. It's like, y'all can't argue that you can experiment your sexual orientation to kind of see whether you like it or not, and then say you can't. I don't know if I have a problem with being a step parent or a co-parent or something like that. I think, like right now, I'm a little hesitant about it. It's like, motherfuckers, I might be a little hesitant about dating tall women. Like, but you know what? She's kind of nice, got a good personality, so I'm gonna check it out. I'm not gonna damn be with the tall woman for 6 months and like, man, I really hate these tall ass motherfuckers, and still hold it on because I feel guilty about it. No, I'm not saying do that. But if it's not an inkling that says, all right, man, I just don't like kids. I'm not. If it's one of those, then yeah, stay away. But if it's one of those, is like, man, she got kids, I might not want to be involved in this because you got some preconceived notion about what that situation is.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe I say step into it, address, like Courtney said, let's be adults and communicate these worries, and then give everybody the opportunity to make the adult decision on their own.
That in itself is a double-edged sword because although you want to see if you like dealing with somebody and their kids, and then you come down the line and you realize like, yo, I really don't like dealing with this person and their kids, and then you go to break up and then like, you know,
which is why I said you have these discussions in the beginning. Hey man, it's like saying you don't like something for the fact, or you're not going to do something, and leaving it at that for that fact it never gets anybody anywhere. There's always going to be a reason behind it. Not knowing that reason is what gets most people in trouble. So if I was to walk into a relationship and say, you know what, she has kids, and I'm worried that I got to deal with baby daddy drama, and maybe she got a son, and the little boy is just one of those hyperactive, destroy everything type niggas.
Love you, Mark.
And I believe that she has no control over my man, and yada yada yada, because these are stereotypical situations, and I'm just walking into this with this thought. I address these with her, and one, she probably gonna be like, don't be talking about my fucking son like that. and probably dismiss your ass at that point. And then, okay, man, you dodged the bullet. You believed what you believed and then actually cashed in for you. Or you ran into an actual adult and she like, you know what? I can see where you're coming from, but this is what this is. Me and him don't deal with this like this. And if it does become a problem, we can readjust this in the future. Even if she doesn't say that last part, y'all having that discussion, her peepers are now up. So if it does come to a point where she's not just gonna be like, all right, man, this kind of might not be cool with kids, so go ahead, little Johnny, go hang out with Tyrone today. Like, that's not gonna happen. I don't know a mother on the planet that's gonna give you that kind of freedom. And even if that were the case, even if that were gonna be the case, like I said, at some point her peepers are gonna be up. So little Johnny's ass, you best believe him, he's gonna say, he might exaggerate the situation, but Tyrone was beating the hell out of me and he wouldn't give me none of his chips. And like he gonna be going off about Tyrone. And no, she might not believe the full story, but now she's paying that much more attention to Tyrone. And she's not gonna waste her time with Tyrone. She's gonna be another one bites the dust. But if Tyrone doesn't express his actual feelings, Tyrone's gonna miss out either on a relationship or the opportunity to just get a little bit of growth in his life. Like, and if let's just call it Keisha, if Keisha decide that she don't want to actually communicate with Tyrone because Tyrone he has real fears that are justifiable in this situation. If Keisha decide she don't want to be an actual adult and hear what Tyrone has to say and work this out because she is in a different, not necessarily ideal situation. If she can't understand that, then Tyrone and Keisha need to be by them fucking selves because they ain't ready to be calling nobody their boyfriend and girlfriend because without some type of compromise, that shit ain't working for no one.
Okay, first of all, let me say this real quick because...
And don't be racist to Tyrone and Keisha.
Courtney just looked at me. So I want you to know that you have said Tyrone 12 times and that's an old ass name.
Cause I got chastised for using Johnny,
there you go.
David.
I said it.
That's cool.
So are you happy now?
I got a cousin named Tyrone, by the way. And he's younger than me.
We just
had a
shout out to
Ty. Like,
we just had a discussion about old ass names.
They just said you got an old ass name.
You do, Tyrone.
I didn't think you had an old ass name before this conversation.
Erykah Badu was talking about Tyrone 20 years ago.
Yeah, but
is that song really 20 years old?
Yeah, it was the late 90s.
Anyway, that got me all messed up now. Okay, but
must not have been that important.
No, because I'm still kind of on the kids thing, but I can see your point. I definitely can see your point. I just don't want there to be like any regret or what's the word?
There's always going to be
resentment.
1997.
There are very few people that have exes that they don't resent. I'm like, which is mad wild to me that people still got resentment towards their exes. But once you get into all that, like once you get into love, period, you're playing with fire. You hope that fire warms your house versus burning it down.
Yes.
But at some point, you still have to play with it. That's why this generation has shitty ass relationships. Because as soon as it ain't even burning down the house, the shit just dried their clothes and motherfuckers like, nope, I'm out. I'm out. This ain't working. It's like, no, at some point, yeah, you do have to take some risks and understand, be open. It's just the same way you were open to the last motherfucker that hurt you. When it comes to dealing with kids, you have to be more cautious and you have to vet deeper into what people are. But that doesn't mean you just immediately say, you know what, I ain't gonna do no parts of this, and I'm gonna be as closed off as I can be, and them motherfuckers just gotta deal with it. And that's how a lot of dating with kid relationships look from the outside when it comes to this time period.
You touched on something, and I just want to reiterate because you said it, but it's not just targeted towards dating with kids. Mm-hmm. Dating or relationships, period. I feel like it's very important for you to have those discussions like, yo, I didn't like this. And then that person is going to do one of two things. They're going to completely ignore what the fuck you said, and that's your sign. You don't need to sit here and be like, yo, I'm asking for signs and I prayed to God. Like, I'm not saying don't pray, but at the end of the day, if you're voicing your concerns about something when you're dating or just in relationships, period, if you're voicing your concern about something that you don't like or you can't deal with, like it's just something that's against you and your spirit, and that person ignores you, that's your sign to move the fuck on.
And I'll follow that with saying, someone not agreeing with you is not ignoring you.
Right.
Like, it's like, yeah, them acknowledging that what they did might have made you feel a certain way. They can acknowledge that, but if the intent wasn't behind that, yeah, I made you feel bad, and I'm sorry for making you feel bad.
Exactly.
But the message that I was trying to deliver is still there. Mm-hmm. Now, it's up to them to find a different way to convey that message so it doesn't turn into this situation again. And it's also up to you to continue to tell them on how to get that message best to you. Mm-hmm. Like you have to, sometimes you have to physically just say the words to tell people how to love you, how to be with you, how to deal with you. You have to physically give those instructions. But like I said, someone ignoring you is not the same as someone disagreeing.
Using Kevin's analogy, if Keisha and Tyrone are having a discussion, and Tyrone be like, Johnny just came up to me and kicked me in the shin. Your son is bad as shit. How do we proceed?
He shouldn't be saying that like that.
If Keisha says, don't say shit about Johnny, I know he didn't do that. All right.
I'm out, Keisha.
This is the end of the relationship.
You know Johnny
time out. I got a whole bruise on my shin. You're not about to tell me your son didn't kick me. But if Tyrone goes to Keisha and like, yo, Johnny just came up to me. I don't know what he going through. He just kicked me in my shin, and I just met him today. And Keisha is like, okay, I acknowledge that. Let me talk to Johnny. That is a situation that you can build on.
You know what Courtney just did? You see how in those two scenarios, the first one, fucking Tyrone came up on Keisha on some bullshit ass energy. Like I tell people at work, yo, don't be walking up on me like that. You don't know me.
But either way, if he had approached her the same way, and if Keisha was not ready to receive that message, then Keisha would have been like, don't fucking talk about my son. Either way.
But Tyrone also should know who he's dating and know the energy that you should approach people with when it comes to certain situations.
So let's reverse. Let's rewind.
I was about to say, because words and actions have a big effect on
If Tyrone approaches Keisha and says, hey, I'm just meeting Johnny, but he kicked me in my shin, told me I want his daddy, and ran into his room, and Keisha ignores it, that is the end of that relationship. Well, it should be.
Walk out the house and be like, fuck you too, Johnny.
That's when you can get that bad energy back. However, if Tyrone approached Keisha and was like, yo, Johnny just kicked me in my shin, I'm just meeting him, he said, you ain't my daddy, and ran into his room, and Keisha is like, okay, let's go talk to Johnny about it.
I love that they got these, let's call them Afrocentric ass names. And this boy's name is Johnny. Johnny Appleseed ass nigga.
That is a way to.
This is kids y'all made it.
That is a way, because let's be real. What are the chances that? Let's be realistic. In real life, I don't think it's any household right now that has a Keisha, a Johnny, and a Tyrone.
Keisha, Johnny, Tyrone, comment below. I know y'all out there.
Little Johnny's name, his real name is Lil Jaquan. And we're going to keep this going.
That is a challenge. If any of y'all got a household with a Keisha, Johnny, and Tyrone, please let us know. I would love to know.
I would love to know too.
Hold up. Y'all gonna fucking lose it.
Why?
My cousin Tyrone, his mama's name is Keisha.
Okay.
Yo, but there's no Johnny in there. You got me scared. But his mama's name is Keisha. I forgot. Oh my God.
We're not talking about Jonathan either. We talking about
it gotta be Johnny. On his birth certificate.
Are we talking about Jonny?
No, J-O-H.
No, not with the I.
Is it J-O? Is it J-H-O?
JOHNNY on his birth certificate. Not Jonathan. Y'all don't call him Jonathan or JoJo for short. No.
Or with an I.
Right.
Johnny with an I.
You just called him Little Jacquees or some racist ass
Little
shit.
Hey, don't y'all talk about the king of R&B.
Oh, okay. That's a whole nother tangent that we gonna go on. That's what Jacquees said. Only. That's the only person that thinks that. But we say that to say that it goes back. It all ties back into communication. Whether it's I just met you and I want that title and I need to have that conversation with you, or whether it's we now have that title, I'm moving on to meet your kids. Communication is important throughout any relationship, any situationship, if you will, that you have as an adult. It's a part of building those social interactions with other human beings. You have to have that communication aspect of things.
Okay, so we got. So after whether we decided that we're gonna date with kids or not, whether you got kids, y'all date when we decide we're gonna move to another level. When do you decide you start owning things together, whether it be pets, apartments, fucking timeshares? I don't know. But what is that? Because I've been in relationships that legit, they basically start with all of that. I've had relationships legit when we decided that the title was on it. Within like a month, we are living together with the dog, and
let me say something about that.
And that shit is life.
Y'all living together is a whole different beast.
Yeah, it is.
Living together will break you up.
We not talking about like, you know, being in a relationship. We not talking about.
Over every
we
night,
talking about the first time.
Y'all got
the first time you go to We talking about the first time you go to bed.
You go through your
and all
routine.
of a sudden you hear burnt, and you look over to the side, and it's and you know it wasn't you, and then you look, and you're like, oh snap, this person is a person.
If both of y'all's clothes is hanging up in the closet, and both of y'all's name, not even both of y'all, because a lot of y'all is shiesty, and somebody's name might be on the rant, and some of y'all might not have the best wrist
and
list.
y'all stupid.
So,
hold on.
If you live with somebody and you live in a relationship with somebody and y'all live together and both y'all names ain't on that lease, whoever name ain't on that lease, whoever name ain't on that lease, hear me and hear me loud. Stupid! You are fucking
soundboard. We need a soundboard.
When you wind up homeless with your stuff in a trash bag, you gonna be like, oh man, I should have listened to this Kevin. Now look at me, I got nowhere to go.
Please make sure your name is on the title, rental agreement, something. But to figure out when that's supposed to happen, that's up to the
that's up to the
couple.
That is completely up to y'all. But
and it depends on how your level of trust is. Mm-hmm. It goes back to the communication. Like me personally, having a child, I know that there are more steps that somebody that I'm dating would have to get through for me to ensure that my child's safety is okay with another adult. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Like, I can't just move into a house with somebody and not know how you are as a human if you leave guns, not guns, but if you have a gun.
So they could have guns lying around.
Nah, not like the kingpin. I'm saying like if you have
you got a couple of guns, Courtney's cool.
If you are a registered owner of a gun but you don't have a safe and my son is able to go ahead and find it or happen upon it in the closet or something, I can't necessarily move. I can't move my child in there because my child is inquisitive. So there's additional steps that you have to take, like get a safe or get rid of the gun.
That's not inquisitive.
My child
Kids
is
are nosy,
inquisitive because he asks a million questions.
It's like when people are like, they're not that good at that, they're just a kid. Kids suck at everything. That's
God!
Are y'all serious right now? We're gonna sit here and play the game like kids don't suck at most things? Like,
I'm not.
Like, I love them. Great to play with, great to talk to. But You ever play a game with a kid? You know how long that takes? Why? Because you're explaining the rules every turn.
No, wait. Let me explain something because my daughter's a beast at Uno. I mean, to the point where she got a poker face.
How old is she?
She's 9.
How long has she been playing Uno?
A long time.
Exactly. Okay. So she's been practicing it. When she first started playing Uno, how did it feel for y'all to play Uno?
Oh, it was annoying.
It was annoying as hell. Why? Because kids suck at it.
This is things they won't say.
My son started playing ball when he first started playing ball. The first season he played, he didn't score a bucket. He didn't get his first shot off until the last game. That next season, my man was AI on the court. The season after that, he's the GOAT. He got fucking adults walking up to him like, hey man, you really good. Like he's 7 years old out here hooping. But when he started, oh my God, it was awful. He was scared of the ball coming off the rim. It was like, yeah, kids suck at everything. I'm sorry, y'all. If there's a kid listening right now that should not be fucking listening.
Because it does say at the beginning, viewer discretion advised.
You probably you obviously as a kid you suck at listening. Like so my case rests.
Proof.
Like
Got it.
All right.
Stamp.
So we going. Like I said, it's up to the discretion of the people. So in my situation, when it was time for us to start living together, I was overseas. But when I was overseas, we ended up actually getting a place because, it was a situation where,
you needed a place.
We needed a place, right? We needed a place. It was just that simple. Situation. And I was like, yo, let me get the spot, and you move in. Well, that constitutes living together. I'm on the lease, she on the lease. Here we are. Not even a whole year into our relationship. But now here we are living together. Even though I'm not physically there at the moment, we live together. I didn't get to know. Now, wait.
I think they live together because at the end of the day, he's overseas, but she's still responsible for the upkeep of that property. She's still responsible for the bills, the utility, the food, and if any of those things disintegrates or if she skipped one of them, his ass is on the line.
Is his ass on the line, or did he just get some bad? Is he gonna get some bad shit on his credit and eventually?
That's his ass.
Well, no, because then I'm gonna come home and not have a place to live.
But you can still come home and get another place to live. I'm saying I'm saying this because I guess I'm playing devil's advocate. When you get separated, when you like get a divorce.
Oh no, don't worry about it.
Oh no,
hey,
we real authentic over here.
What's going on?
Hey y'all!
Yes!
She wanted to do that. But boy is a white racist word, by the way.
Oh no. It's okay, Christy. I was racist like 10 minutes ago.
But I say this because, like, when you get separated, it's those same aspects of the house. Like, yeah, you still got to take care of this residence and yada, 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 and all these things won't happen. But it ain't my house no more. So we don't live. I'm saying because living together, there is the aspect of owning a dwelling together, and then there's the aspect of us being in the same space.
Right, like she waking up to you and you got that slob of drool right there, and she like, damn, can I deal with this for the rest of my life?
Like I'll even take it a step backwards. Like right after high school, me and Angel lived together. Like Angel and I were friends in high school, but we didn't become best friends like we are now until that. Yeah, until.
I just want to say shout out to Angel Corporate because he definitely.
What'd you just call him? Corporon?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, Angel.
Yes.
Oh, that's my dog.
What up, Angel? He was the only comment we had on our last YouTube.
Yeah.
The first.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Let me say first, because comments can come anytime. But he was listening to us in the truck on the way to work, so shout out, Angel.
Actually, it was at Waffle House, but
don't matter, Angel.
It don't matter. He was listening, and he put on my way to work, listening, ready. He was #ready. So shout out, Angel.
He was, but and back to my
y'all was living together. Y'all became best friends.
But yeah, we didn't become best friends until that year we lived together. But when I said we spent every of those 365 days, because we worked together too, so we spent every fucking moment of that together, with the exception of 21 days, because he went off to do something for National Guard. Like, he had to go off. And like, that was like, no, it's not a romantic relationship. But that was the point where I decided whether this man could be like my friend for real. Like, y'all know me well enough to know now, like, that's a real fucking thing.
But I think we're selling ourselves short when we're having these conversations about relationships. Relationships is not just romantic.
That's what I was just about to say.
What we have right now, this is a relationship. Like, if one of us quits, the relationship falters.
That's why I said, let's take a step back from it. And it's like in that aspect, it took us living together, and I got to like really like know this dude. Like, all right, that's why I say, like, right now, that's regardless of whatever happens in our lives, that's my brother for the rest of my life, because of that year that we spent that much time together, and I actually got to know that man. And Eddie, because again, even with us being who we are and in this relationship, when we all walk away from this camera setting, we get to go back home and again refresh our disguises. Like, I get to decide when I walk out of this door again who the world gets to see that day. Yep. And when you live with somebody, whether it be a romantic relationship, I lived with my sister for almost 2 years. Like, we got to really know each other as adults in that time span. Damn, and the same idea in romantic relationships, siblings, business relationships, whatever they may be. Damn, you cohabitating, spending in time in someone's real personal space is something that it can't be replicated in any form of fashion. We can share the same dwelling, we can own the same property, but if we don't cohabitate, it's like you say you were overseas. You were probably more connected to the guys you were over and the men and women that you slept with every night at that time in your life than you were with your actual wife, because they, like, y'all were in a space and together, smelling each other's breath and fart every day, hearing each other's snores, feeling each other's energies when you couldn't escape that. Like, it's like that ability to cohabitate. That's something different when it comes to understanding a person in any kind of relationship.
In any relationship, living together can either make you or break you. Romantically, I have only lived with one person in my entire life. And I will say that I will approach that situation again with kid gloves. Because at that point, it was at that point that I determined what I can and what I can't deal with. Like, I can't deal with somebody coming in at all times of the night. That's not me. That's not how I am.
Yeah, you need to be here when I'm ready to go to bed.
Like, if I'm tired, your ass needs to be like, all right, babe, I'm on the way. Or you need to already be in the bed.
Unless you at work.
Facts.
You need to be here when I'm ready to go to bed, B.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we got to disagree.
Because if I get used to
live with me, then.
Well, no, if I get used to sleeping next to you, and then you decide,
and that's what I'm talking about.
That's a real thing.
My wife don't watch this.
That's a real thing. D, you better watch this. If I'm used to sleeping in the bed with you, and you just start up and not being there, or having to leave, or anything out of the ordinary, you get to learn a person's habits and how they move. And if they start moving different, you start noticing. Like, it's shit like that can make or break you. If you're considering living with the person that you feel like you're so so in love with, and you think that this is a forever thing, listen to me and listen to me clearly. It can make you, or it can break you. So just approach with caution.
Final thoughts on this?
Man, when you are, there's a lot in this. There's obviously a whole lot more in this dating phase when it comes to dealing with kids, living together, or just trying to figure out who this person is. So in every aspect, just like Courtney said, just like Kev said, y'all gotta really take into consideration each and every avenue of approach. Proceed with caution. Very important.
What about you guys?
That's what I got.
Kind of along the same lines. We keep the lines of communication open.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that you ain't gonna always agree that this is new. It'll be new for both of y'all, regardless of how many people you have dated in the past or how many different scenarios you have been. From a guy that prides himself on thinking as a hobby, I don't care how much you think about things, you are not prepared for everything. And so walk into him with open mind, with a responsible thought process, and hope for the best. It's not always going to work out in your favor, but it's never going to work out in your favor if you don't approach it with the best state of mind that you can. So.
My final thoughts are, along with communication, any relationship, be it personal, business, just friendships, it not only requires communication, but it also, any type of relationship takes from your energy. It takes your energy to put your time and your effort into any situation or any relationship that you deal with. So approach those people cautiously. Approach new situations cautiously, because everyone is not worth your time and everyone is not worth your energy.
Ooh. That right there, that brought it home.
Yeah. So this dating, obviously this dating topic, as we told y'all in the beginning, is a multi-parter. And the next parter, as you can probably hypothesize, for you dummies out there, you can guess.
Stupid!
Our next phase will be more into the permanent stages. Since we just got into moving in, the permanent stages of, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Well, I'm gonna be a facilitator.
She is going to be the part that she is in this conversation. You'll find that out in that aspect of the episode.
Can you do me a favor? Can you say that one thing that, we said that if you said it, we were gonna do something?
When we talking about titles.
Oh, about my friend boy?
Da, 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 da. With that being said, this has been episode 5 of What They Won't Say. It's your boy, Just Kevin.
This is Courtney Lynette.
This is UA.
Love y'all.
Bye.